Alright, so here's a brief video we're going to record to highlight some of the frequently asked questions that I get about, well, so what I'm going to address on this video is how we work differently. Obviously at Practical Wealth Advisors, we're in the financial services business, but we take a unique approach in that I help people find the money that they're currently transferring away unknowingly and unnecessarily. Well, how do you do that, you ask? Well, so what I do is basically I address areas such as mortgages, taxes, how you fund your qualified plans, college planning, and expenses like car payments, credit cards, tuition. See, most people lose more money in these areas than they will accumulate in their lifelong savings accounts. We call these transfers. Most people are in the process of transferring the majority of their wealth away to people that create the situations, control the outcomes so that they profit off of you not completely understanding the money game. And so I believe that we can have a bigger impact on your financial future by helping you avoid the losses rather than trying to help you pick winning investments. See, it makes little sense to have $1 million only to discover that you lost $1 million along the way, or even $2 million. Okay, and so here's what we're going to talk about. So what I try to do is teach people how money works. We're going to examine things like transfers, like opportunity costs. But and so I'm going to give you a quick example, and you tell me where you'd like to have your planning begin. So let's take a 30-year-old male who's let's say he's going to work till 65, making, which I don't really believe in that either, but we're going to use that as an example, because retirement means to put out of use. I think you should work as long as you feel like working. And so what happens is, let's say he has an annual income of $35,000 a year. He gets a 2% raise, and let's assume really conservatively that you could average over your working lifetime 4% on your money. Okay, now so here's the results of that. So you see this green line here, that's if you never, this is assuming obviously you can't do this, you never spent any of the money and you worked and you saved it all. So what will happen is at $35,000 a year you save $35,000. The average of over that 35-year period is $49,000. His last year working he made $68,000. Cumulatively over that 35-year period he's earned $1.7 million. See, the problem is not that you're not going to make money. You're going to make a fortune in your lifetime. The problem is what happens to the money. It's the old saying, it's not what you earn, it's what you keep. And so if you could have compounded that interest rate at this money at 4%, it would have grown to $3.5 million. Now, what happened to that money? Well, let's look at what happens to that money as it enters your personal economy. Well, guess what? Who gets paid first? Uncle Sam. So let's talk about transfers. Well, taxes are your number one transfer of your wealth. Let's just take, say, 25% goes to taxes. Okay? And so we know that, so all of a sudden you're going to pay $437,000 in taxes. Take this up, and that's going to cost you $885,000 of opportunity cost. Okay, so now your savings is only $26,000. All right, instead of 35. So now every 34% of every dollar you spend, really 34.5%, goes to debt. Okay, between cars and houses and credit cards, so on and so forth. So that's almost $600,000 just on, and that's just for the interest. That's not counting the principal. All right. So let's say 30% goes to lifestyle, 6% goes to other, I'm not even going to put an inflation factor. Well, let's put a 2% inflation factor in there. So now what happens is this. So let's say you're saving 5% of your income. Most people don't do that. All right. So now let's look at what you could do here. So now what you can do is at that rate, instead of the $1.7 million you earn when you retire, you've only been able to save $52,000 or $106,000 in your account, which is about what I see when I'm working with clients. Now, the industry will tell you, well, you know what, you got to put more money in. Well, where's that going to come from? Or you've got to try to get a higher rate of return. Well, let's say you could get 8%. Okay, so 8% takes you up to $241,000. Let's say you could get 12%. Now that takes you to $597,000. But where you're going to get 12% at in this marketplace, you know, you got to take a lot of risks just to get 10 to 12% just using paper. Look how upside down you are here, losing money. All right, so let's go back to the rate of return. See, it's not as much about rate of return as you think. So what if you could start your planning by minimizing some of your income? So let's say, for example, you set up a home-based business, or you look for ways to make your tax situation more efficient. So you lowered your taxes down to 20%. That all of a sudden increased your savings by 283 up to $283,000 just by doing what? Lowering your taxes and capturing that money. So all of a sudden now you're saving 10% of your income. See, when you save it, it doesn't count unless you save it. So a lot of times people will save money, they'll adjust their withholding to get more money in their check, but all they do is spend it, okay? Or you pay off a debt just to run up another debt. Well, let's say you could systematically lower your debt service to, you know, this won't happen overnight, but that down to 20%, okay? So now you're saving 24% of your income. Look what it does there. So all of a sudden now you're saving 24%. You've been able to accumulate $779,000, almost $1 million. All right. Let's not even go into. I won't even touch lifestyle. Let's just go right into other costs, other transfers that we get into people as we take them and look at their personal economy and try to put more money back on the table, and we just take that down to 2%. So all of a sudden, just by minimizing your, you know, recapturing lost money that you're giving away, you've almost got $1 million. And you haven't changed your lifestyle, you haven't done any differently. This is what we mean by we can have a bigger impact on your financial future by avoiding the losses and recapturing those losses as opposed to picking out winning investments. Okay, and so where would you like to begin your planning? Would you want to do you want to cut into your lifestyle and, you know, stop going out to eat and, you know, having a life basically? Do you want to take more risks with your money, or would you like to start your planning with identifying losses in your personal economy and recapturing transferred wealth? See, that's the difference. Where we do is we look for ways, and we have a process that we take people through to show you how to do that, and that's, we believe, should be the center point of your planning, is recapturing wealth transfer. So I hope that helps and gives you an idea that you want to think differently. You got to take control of your life. You got to take control of your finances, and our goal is to empower you to help you do that. Again, this is Curtis Mayal. If you've got any questions, you can email us back on the link you'll see, or give our office a call at 610-622-3121. Have a wonderful day.